Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel.
Hey.
My name is Uchenna,
And I'm IJ.
And I'm Dior.
and today we're going to discuss Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 7. But before we begin, please like, subscribe, and put on your notifications. Okay, so this episode was full of a lot of drama.
For no reason. For no reason. I'm going to just start.
No. Wendy had a reason. Wendy had a reason. In her mind, she had a reason.
Okay.
But was it
In her
valid?
mind. In her mind, she had a reason.
So
And the
everyone
reason
has
was-
something in their
The
mind.
reason was Karen. The reason was Karen. That's what was in her mind.
All right, so it started off with the cottages going to the big house, the people in the cottages going to the big house in their little golf cart. And so when they arrived there, Karen starts doing the most. You know, I noticed she had like a plan. She was trying to turn everyone against Gizelle. The day before, it was Wendy, you know, tweeting in her ear. Then it was Candace. At the beginning of the episode, she was like, you know what, Candace? I didn't like how she was talking about your husband, you know, putting those little tweets in her ear. And then she started doing that with Ashley when Ashley came over. And Ashley was like, that doesn't sound like Gizelle. Let me find out from Gizelle, because she knows the war between Gizelle and Karen. And they're both in a...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. She even spoke to Mia the night before. Remember at breakfast, they were talking about how she was saying something about Gizelle.
Right.
So she had worked the room.
She's
You know,
working the room, plotting her siege or whatever it was. So
working the room working the room really doesn't work. You have to have people that are willing to believe what you're saying. Just like Candace was like, and Ashley was like, Everybody else doesn't really understand because they haven't been on the show long enough and doesn't understand the messiness of the situation.
I think what we mean by work in the room was that she was trying to get into everyone's ear, trying to turn everyone against Gizelle, or try to get them to think that Gizelle is spreading rumors or lies or talking about them. Whether they received her or not is different, but she was trying.
She was
but I don't think she really got where she wanted to
No.
with the you know, the grand dames of the rest of the team. No, but with the new people, she might have, could have, but not
worked
with
with
the rest
Wendy.
of them.
It definitely worked with Wendy. Yeah. Okay, so before we get too far ahead, so they all have their breakfasts, and then, you know, Gizelle is definitely not happy. Like, you could tell her whole energy is like sideways. And almost as soon as Karen came in, she got up and she was like, Robin, you know, can we go upstairs? We need to discuss some business. You know?
She was like, we have a meeting. Where do you want to go? It was like clear that no, you don't have a scheduled meeting. You just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But isn't it better that she just took herself out of that situation and made it more productive?
Yeah.
I think that was what was benefit for it all, that she took herself out of that situation that was nasty and took it to a more productive environment where she actually sat down and talked to her friend. I thought that was a lot smarter than making us all see some additional drama that we're sick and tired of seeing.
I'm never tired of drama. Sorry. I enjoy
Yours,
seeing
I'm
it.
kind of like, okay, next chapter.
But it was, what she did was what she should have done with Wendy. If she cared about Wendy as much as she cares about Robin, which evidently she doesn't, you know. So there's different levels in the friendship.
Well, but she still put Robin's, you know, business out there at
That's
the table
true.
too. So I mean, she just hadn't gotten around to pulling Wendy aside, but she had talked about maybe possibly doing it.
Right.
Whether she was going to or not, we don't know.
Right.
And we have to also remember that these ladies, for the most part, I don't think that they're really that close of friends off season.
I think her and Robin are.
Yeah, her and Robin definitely are. But for her and the rest of the team, I don't know how close they are off season, because if you look at it, Gizelle hadn't seen Ashley's child for the first time. And he's how old?
No, it was a baby. It was a
No,
baby she
this is
was
the
raising.
oldest son. The oldest son. She hadn't seen him in a while. And look at Karen hadn't seen the other kid neither, the
Right.
oldest one. So it was like their first time seeing him. So I think outside the show, not all of them really are close friends or even friends. They're just acquaintances due to the show.
Right, right. But I think, or maybe that was another Real Housewives. It was another one. Sorry. So she takes Robin, and like a good friend, they have a real discussion. And I'm all for tough love. I think that's one of the only ways that you really get down and help someone, get through whatever they're going through. If you, code it with pleasantries, if you kind of mask what's going on, it doesn't help them and it doesn't help you. So I think the best way to do it is to be honest and make them really see what's going on and try to figure out how to improve themselves. And I think she did a good job with that.
Yeah, and Robin received it well, which is good.
Yeah.
And you have to know your friends. You have to know, like, to some degree, you may have to be a little softer, but it depends on the person you're speaking to. So, I mean, Robin received it well. And, she was still being supportive to her. Like when Robin said, companies are reaching out to me, she's just like, girl, like,
those are some
Maybe.
major companies.
But you know what? We have to look at what Robin's gone through in the past and what success was like for her in the past. And then the downfall that came from that success, where she was talking to any blog, anybody, just to get some money to feed her kids and put
But
food
it
on the
wasn't
table.
really her success.
She-
It was Ron's.
Yeah, but she was married at that time to him. So it's a combination of both of them being together. And when he falls, she falls too. And she probably has post-traumatic stress from that whole thing and just doesn't want to be at that level again where, now it's even more crucial because it's her. I have this business. I have Target. Well, not Target, but TJ Maxx, Macy's after me. If it blows up big, then what happens if it doesn't blow up big anymore and they begin to fall? So she probably just froze and didn't know where to go from there.
Yeah, that's what she said. But I mean, that's not a reason not to do it. And I think Gizelle was encouraging her to say, like, you're not the same person that you were before. And obviously you should learn from the mistakes that you made. So put things in place so that that doesn't happen. I think she was just encouraging her to do that in spite of, what she's doing. Don't be afraid of success because of your past.
I think she might need to go through therapy because I think that that's what she probably needs to in order to get through that, through what happened in the past and get through her depression that she's going through. I think she needs to go through therapy because sometimes Gizelle having that one episode of talking to her isn't going to really make that much of a difference. She needs more.
And we didn't say it would, yeah.
But I think it'll kickstart her to realize, okay, I'm speaking this out loud and I can hear myself saying it out loud and there is a real issue. So I do need to get some help.
Let's hope she does.
In that respect, that it will help her. And also, failure is a big fear of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to put yourself out there because you're afraid to fail. So I completely get what she's going through. But you can't let TJ Maxx and Macy's, go away because
at least she didn't say no to them. She just ghosted them.
She just ghosted them, yeah.
And the thing is, there's so many people out there with the same type of products that they might go to someone else. So you gotta go after it.
And well, now she's been on TV, so they know what companies want that product and they can go there themselves. Yeah.
It's, it's not just the product. It's the popularity of her. That's who they want. They want her, not actually the product. Yeah. But, they see how well it's doing, or she must have some great numbers out there for them to want to do it with her. So, yeah.
Yeah. So they probably see the traffic going to her website. So because they really wouldn't know what numbers she's selling unless she told them.
I mean, I'm sure that they know her popularity on social media.
Right, but they don't know how much she's selling.
Look at people's analytics. People can look at. Yeah, that's definitely a certain way that they're going to do that.
Right. Okay, so kudos to Robin for getting those huge retailers. And then Ashley talking about her placenta. and how they were making.
And they actually showed it. Like, I didn't know if they had taken a video from YouTube, but it seemed the producers were talking while it was being done. So I think they were actually like filming her placenta.
That was great.
It looked like they were doing it in her house, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times it's like midwives and doulas and stuff that offer those services. So I think they do it somewhere like in their own home or the person's home. So
yeah, that was really
that was interesting. I myself would never do that, but okay.
I wonder like how much of it is psychological, and if it's psychological, that's great because it's working for her. And how much is it actually the placenta, you know, changing her mood?
Yeah.
And you've dried the placenta out, you've dehydrated it. I don't know how effective or how strong it is when you've already dehydrated it and you've taken most of the nutrients out.
To me, as long as it doesn't hurt you, then I'm like, why not try it? It's your own. Yeah. As long as they don't mix it up with somebody else's placenta, I don't care.
That's disgusting.
But it was like really gross to watch. But it was interesting. I'm glad they showed that.
But she did say she was, you know, she was benefiting from it, or she could feel some benefit from her mood.
Right.
So.
And I see her shape coming back too.
Yeah, she has a great butt. She's always had a great butt. You know? Yeah, but she's looking good. She's looking less like her mom.
And her hair is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's grown a lot.
Yeah.
Or I guess we don't know if it's grown a lot, but because she has it blown out, and usually she has it curly, but yeah. It's really thick and long, and
yeah, her ends are great. I was looking at her ends when it was showing up on her show. I was like, good Lord, lady, you have some beautiful hair.
So what did you guys think about the water aerobics?
I would have done the water aerobics because I like water aerobics.
More interested. I wasn't interested in the water aerobics. I was more interested in Karen's outfit, because that outfit was, I was like, wow, Karen. Them high heel boots with that red outfit. I was like, wow, she looked amazing.
She did.
She looked great. That drew my attention, not the water aerobics. And the way she was lounging, was funny. I thought that was just like grand dame.
It reminded me of the commercial where they do the synchronized swimming because of the swim caps they had on. But she was like, she had the little weights and everything, so she was ready. And she says she says she gets in the water 2 to 3 times a week herself, and that's how she stays in shape. Which is funny to me because her kids didn't know she knew how to swim. So I was like, is this true or what?
But then she proved it with that class she taught. Yeah.
And I was surprised that Wendy didn't know how to swim. But I guess that's not surprising. I mean, she looks athletic, but just because you're athletic looking doesn't mean you know how to swim.
I don't think she looks athletic. She doesn't have muscles on her. She just looks like thin. No, she looks like she would be an athletic person, like she would run. And we were watching her when she was doing the workout with them, and she was really pumping the ropes and so forth. So to me, Wendy looks athletic. Those ropes were really thin.
To me, Robin looks athletic. Like if you were like, who in this group is, you know, the athlete, I would say Robin. That's who I would go for.
I mean, I would say Robin too. That rope is thin. That's not a hard rope to do that with. Like, it's not.
But to me, she looked athletic. But I was surprised that she couldn't swim. But then, and I was happy that Gizelle was helping her swim. You know, at least trying to show her how to do it, coaching her on. Yeah. But I thought it was really, like, you know how the group had talked about, you know, can you, Gizelle and Karen, keep your beef to yourself and don't spread it to the rest of the group? The minute that Ashley came and sat down, Karen began right away.
Working the room.
She was telling her what was going on and so forth. And thinking as Ashley just thought to herself, let me just figure this out on my own and see what really happened and talk to people and find out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So remember how I had said that I thought that Wendy had a tattoo last episode?
I think you did say that,
and I looked, and she does have a tattoo.
Wait, where is it?
And she has it like near her groin.
On her hip area, in the front pelvic area.
Her groin, like the front of her.
Oh, okay.
It would be on her left pelvic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but more towards the groin, not really on the outside of the pelvic, but more
just like
inside.
the pelvic area. That whole front part is the pelvic area. Mm-hmm. So she did have, but it was dark, so it was hard to see against her skin, but it was there.
What is it?
We couldn't tell what it was.
It was too hard to see, but
okay.
it surprised me. And it was a big tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was surprising that she would have a tattoo. But I mean, people love their tattoos. As soon as they get one, they keep on going and getting more. So kudos for her for her wild side of having a tattoo.
Well, maybe that's because remember we said like we didn't think that she like if whatever she's bringing out now, if it's something that was in her, we would have seen it before. So maybe that tattoo is just a little hint that she had a little spice to her before.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be very true. Very true.
And we only saw, I guess, to be fair, we only saw one season of her. So we're comparing one season to one season.
Right.
I guess it would be a little different if she was last season's Wendy for 4 seasons and then she became this new Wendy. So
Right.
I think too, we're judging Wendy from her accomplishments from the past. You know, how she presented herself in the beginning of being the CNN announcer, a CNN commentator, having all these PhDs. You
Well, and
would
also
never
like what
expect
she
her.
was saying about
yeah,
herself.
we're judging
Like,
her how she was presenting
presenting
herself.
herself.
And what
So
she
we weren't
highlighted
judging
as
her.
being important about herself. So
Right. It's not like we were judging her. We were just learning about her from last season. And like you said, how she presented herself. I mean, that's all we can go on. So,
Yeah.
and then it's such a huge juxtaposition from how she's presenting herself now. So like you said, Dior, which one is the real Wendy? I guess we'll find out next season. So we'll see how she acts next season.
We might even find out this season. I personally feel like something's going on. I just want to know down to the gritty, what is it going on? Because something's off.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to, so after they have their water aerobics, they get together for dinner, right? And I loved Wendy's pants. Those pants were fantastic. The African print with the leather going down the middle, and she had like the no? Well,
I can't. Y'all see everything, and I can only focus on one
I
thing.
do not like leather pants
I loved what you were wearing, Wendy.
that are big, or I like form-fitting leather pants, not leather
Well,
pants.
those weren't leather pants; those are fabric. It was like an African print with a line of a lighter leather strip going down the middle.
I didn't like those pants at all.
I love them.
I love her top, but not the pants.
The top was okay. You've seen that top like a million times. I think every single housewife has worn that top. Okay, so at the dinner, so how did it begin? So Wendy started like almost crying to Karen, saying it was Ashley that brought it up the whole night before, right?
Yes, and then Gizelle asked Wendy, "Are we okay?" So she's, you know, I think Ashley brought it up to say like, "Oh, Karen told me that something was going on, and I just trying to see what happened." And then Gizelle was just like, "Wendy, are we okay?" And then Wendy's like, "Well, I was gonna talk to you, but." You know, then that's when she brought up Gizelle saying that she had substance before and now.
Oh, that was a mess.
But she was like, and yeah, she's like, now you said that I've changed a lot, or I don't have substance. I can't remember how she presented it, but I don't think it's exactly the way Gizelle said it.
And
it was an inference of what Gizelle was saying that Wendy didn't like. And remember, Wendy's mind is already Karenized. So no matter what Gizelle says, Wendy is going to see it as being off or angry about it. She's not going to really see it through clear-cut eyes because she's already had Karen in her ear and she already feels some sort of way, you know? I mean, she attacked Mia when Mia was just like, well, you know, but then the funny thing was that Gizelle attacked Mia too when Mia was trying to say, I see what Gizelle is saying.
Yeah, but Mia is back and forth. Like Mia isn't really protecting anybody.
I was not a stripper. I was an entertainer in a 5-star restaurant. And she served steak and lobster.
Right. But what I thought was interesting was that like you said, Ijama, Wendy is so Karenized that she was like, what did she say? She's like, Karen was my rock or something like that.
Y'all know what that took me back to? Portia and Nene. Remember when Portia was
Yes.
like, crying?
Little sister.
But then Gizelle was like, and she was right. She was like, I've seen this before with Candace and Karen, how Karen was like the second mom to Candace, and then she cut her off at the head.
Everybody rolled their eyes.
She was like, Wendy.
I rolled my eyes.
Please be careful because she's going to do the same thing. I mean, because to me, Karen is so fake, but people like that about Karen.
But the thing is,
people like that about Karen
did not get along last season. So
No.
It's just like
Karen hated Wendy for no reason.
We already know why they're getting along.
Well, we know
they're
why Wendy is getting along with Karen.
We know why
we don't know why Karen is getting along with Wendy.
Because Karen sees an opportunity to get at Gizelle and get under Giselle's skin. That's the only reason. Yes, my God.
No,
having another
another
ally that dislikes Gizelle.
Because even before Wendy and Gizelle had this beef, in the very beginning of the season, Wendy was ingratiating herself to Karen, and Karen was taking it in, and she was like, yes, I'll show you the way, blah, blah,
Of course.
blah. So they were building that bond. So she's not doing that now only to get at
Girl,
Gizelle.
no.
I think Wendy expressed that she needed Karen, and so
Right.
that's why Karen is like receiving it now.
Right.
Because
Karen
she
was
needs my help. She wants me to be her mentor, and she's loving it.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Same
loving that.
exact scenario with what's her name? Singer girl.
Candace.
Same exact scenario with Candace. And you would think that Wendy would have learned from watching Candace's situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm going to get on the show, I'm going to go back to as many seasons that I can watch and see what happens, you know. And if she sees that Candace and Karen used to be close, and then she turned the script on Candace when Candace needed her most, Wendy should have said, I'm going to use Karen for what I can get out of her for business, because maybe, I don't know if Karen's businesses are doing great, but she needs a mentor.
I think she wants her contacts. I think she probably wants
maybe her business contacts, mentor. That's what mentors do. They help you along the way. She should have just stopped it at that. But I think what actually hurt the most was that in the beginning of the show, beginning of the season, remember, Wendy was sticking up for Gizelle. That's why her and Mia were getting into it at first, because she felt that Mia was being wishy-washy, that whole entire thing about Gizelle. And then I don't know if Gizelle didn't notice it or nobody told Gizelle about it. And so it wasn't really like thought of. They were questioning, like, why are you acting this way, Wendy? Why are you and Mia always getting into it? And nobody really explained to anybody why she was getting into it with Mia all the time. And so now she's ingratiated herself with Karen, and Karen is just loving it. And now she's like this, I'm your mother figure, I'm here for you. And it just makes Gizelle and everybody else question, what type of relationship do they really have? I don't even think it's a real relationship.
I think they're questioning the authenticity of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, what type of relationship really is it?
Yeah, I think because they know how Karen is. So they know it's not real. You know, it's just, like we said, Karen trying to be the grand dame. But you know what's surprising to me? How much Wendy's new body means to her. Like, right now, it seems to be her entire world, her entire focus.
Her entire storyline.
Yeah. But even to her, it is so vitally important to her. And that's just really shocking. Because she looked good before. She just didn't have, like, the big breasts. So it's just surprising.
Or the butt.
Yeah, or the butt. It's just surprising how important it is to her. And I'm wondering, like, is it that important to other people too? Like, normal people? It must be. But
I mean, I think it definitely is. I mean, for whatever reason, you know, a lot of people hold more value in their looks, you know, than they do other things. And that's probably because that's what men are first attracted to, and
Mhm.
what people hold as the standard of beauty. And when you're in the public eye, like on television, not only just on this show, but on CNN,
Mhm.
people are always commenting on those things.
Right.
And her intelligence too, I'm sure, but I feel like she probably thinks that she has that on lock. So if she's getting any criticism on the way that she looks, um, I think it would be very, and you never know what she kind of grew up, what kind of,
Uh-huh.
bullying she had when she grew
Mhm.
up, and that could add on to it if it's never not something she's ever healed from.
Right. Oh, right. That's true. That's true.
Mm,
But you know what's
it's a
interesting
bit
is
too much.
how,
Her love of her new body is a bit overboard.
yeah, I
I
just
mean,
don't get it. Like,
it's every
it
episode. It's
means
something. It's more
everything to her.
everything.
Everything.
I've never seen it to
Everything.
anybody.
She
I
probably
mean,
stares at herself naked 24/7 if she could. It's just like
I
unbelievable.
mean, if I lost like all of my fat, I would probably stare. I would walk around my house naked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna walk out in the streets naked,
You
but
probably would.
I'll be on the couch with a daiquiri or wine
Right.
yeah, that's
in
how
my
I feel
lingerie. So
something.
I'm not gonna
Right.
lie. I would be happy if my body looked good.
I think something is going
That's
on
true.
with her mentally. I would like to find out what it is because it's weird.
But it's interesting how Bravo completely played us into thinking that Ashley was being messy again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
those previews, they made it seem like she went behind Giselle's back and went was like to
Mm-hmm.
Wendy when it
Mm-hmm.
I
wasn't
think that
like
if
that
she
at
would have
all. What
explained to
she did
Wendy,
was that she taught her and Giselle talked, and they were like they planned it and was like, this is what we're gonna do, because if Giselle went to Wendy and was talking about what she heard, Wendy would have went off, and Wendy
Mm-hmm.
lied when she said she would have received it differently from
well,
than
it's
than if Ashley said it, because she wouldn't even had heard a second of what Giselle said before she went off. So I thought it was a good plan to
To
have
me,
it
Ashley.
is just the
yeah.
way that she
Yeah.
brought it out. If she would have explained to Wendy, you know what, last season or in the past, Giselle Giselle came to me personally and told me what had occurred with my husband, what she and
I didn't
Robin
think there was
saw.
anything wrong with how she said it.
Well, no, if she would have, because we all know that she can be messy. Ashley can be messy. And Wendy and Ashley probably aren't even close. So why
But
are
she
you
did.
coming and telling me this?
Well,
So
she
if
didn't
she
even, but she didn't approach her in a messy way. And she started off by saying a fraudulent rumor. So, and then the only thing I would have changed differently about how she said it was that she said Giselle told me, when she said she had heard it herself too.
Everyone
So
heard it.
yeah,
everybody
so she
knew
had
about
Except
it,
just
for
everybody
said,
did.
Robin. Except for
Right.
Robin, which shows you that Robin really is in a depressive state because she hadn't even heard the rumor. She
mm-hmm.
was the only one who didn't.
Yeah.
So Robin
But
is in her own world.
right. But you know how the women are, and everybody thinks everybody's coming for each other constantly. If she would have, I think if she would have told her, hey, in the past, Giselle and Robin came to me and told me
But
this,
she
and this
knows
is what
that.
they heard.
She knows that. She was there last season.
But you know what? She
She
might
saw
have
the show.
forgotten about it. She might have, so
But
much
the
has
thing
gone
is,
by, she might have
why
forgotten about it.
why would Ashley have said it like that if she Ashley had no idea that Wendy was going to take it that way?
Yeah.
And
No,
she
no,
didn't
I'm just,
intend for her to take it that way. So she said it the way, I mean, she just, came out and said that, hey, like, no, she never said, is that true that your husband did that? Like,
No.
and anytime it's been brought up, it's never been like, ooh, I wonder if he really was cheating. They always started it off by saying, like, we don't believe this, but maybe they're trying to, show everyone that they're good. And that's why she's doing all of this. Like,
Right.
they're just trying to link it to her
Her
new
behavior.
behavior.
okay,
And
if you guys say so, I just think that everybody thinks of Ashley as being messy, and the whole entire messiness of the whole situation is making her feel a certain way. Everybody's talking about her body, talking about how she's acting, and now somebody that she really doesn't even talk to is coming to talk to her about her husband.
But they
Why
all
do you
do
even
that.
care?
Like Mia is inserting herself like nonstop into the conversation. No one knows who Mia is. But that's just part of the show.
I'm surprised. What's her name? What's the other girl's name? She didn't have much to say.
Yeah,
she just had a lot of facial expressions.
She did.
That's all she did.
She's probably scared. She's like, what the? So when did you guys
keep my mouth
reaction?
Did not say anything.
Like when Wendy went back to the table or went back into the room and started like going off.
Her reaction was overboard, and it's like there's something going on.
Ooh, that's why I said from the beginning something's going on with Wendy. Right. I don't know.
Yeah. Something is off.
Yeah,
she was ready to fight her.
It was a bit too much about my husband. I was just like, girl, shut up. Nobody wants your man.
But he does not look like Idris Elba. I'm sorry.
I don't know who said that.
Far reach. He is nice looking, but no.
He's not even that. He's just a normal guy that you would pass by the street and keep walking.
The thing is, the way Wendy interpreted what was said sounded a lot like how Karen was interpreting wishing the death on Ray.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, you twisted this 180 degrees.
And everybody, Wendy should have in her moment stopped and read the room and seen how everybody was reacting and should have thought, let me pull my ass back. Because what happened was we all saw, this is the climax for Wendy. It started with Mia going off about little stupid things. And now you've done pissed off Gizelle. Mm. Gizelle is not Mia, who just came on the show. Gizelle is a little bit more of a somebody. And but Gizelle kept her cool.
No, Gizelle wasn't pissed. Giselle's just like, what the hell is
deep
going
down,
on?
Giselle is mad.
Robin was more.
Robin was drunk as hell, so let's just all keep to it.
I loved it though. She was like, F you, or what the I thought it was great.
Robin was like, I don't care what you say, I do. She didn't care. She didn't give a shit about them women.
It was like, I play with myself.
And she was like this. I was just like, Robin, go ahead, girl. And then, but Wendy should have read that room and thought, I'm off. Because first of all, Wendy, you're not drunk. Because you didn't drink enough. So you should have read that room and saw that you were going overboard. And then this is what I'm thinking. Honestly, you guys, I've watched CNN for the past 2 years, almost nonstop. Mm-hmm. And have you seen Wendy on CNN?
It must be CNN because I have not seen her.
And I'm like, when do you be on CNN? Because I would like to see an episode, because for the past 2 years, my husband and I and my mom and I, we've been like CNN nonstop. All the time. And I'm just like, I don't hear your voice and I don't see you either. She's never been on it.
It might be like CNN affiliate, but it's not CNN.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay. And so if you were really a commentator on CNN.
She's a commentator, but just
not. She is, but I don't see her. You may come in once in a blue moon on an episode that I happen to not
I don't think
touch.
she's ever been on CNN, to be honest with you.
You know what? You would be acting the way that you were acting.
I don't see how she could be a commentator on any show after this season, unless they just want to try to get some ratings from people who never watched their show. I mean, because
you would be, and I don't care if people say you can have your own personal life. No, you can't. No. You are relegated through society to act a certain way when you have a role in society.
Certain job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how you act. Facts. And so you thinking that you're going to be acting like coochie mama, no. And I am so happy Mia called her out on that outfit she was wearing. I was like, thank God somebody called you out, because it was so inappropriate with that song up your ass.
It's cute and it's sexy, but she's too old for that. I'm sorry. She's too old.
Yeah, I was just like, that's just ridiculous.
I want to go back to when you said reading the room. So, everyone was shocked and like appalled, except
Karen
was loving it. She was like,
yeah. And so that should have told you, girl, Karen set you off. You let Karen do this to you.
Yes.
But you know what, too? Gizelle was so calm. I was like, wow, Gizelle.
Because she's like, what in the world happened? She was confused, just like everybody else. Like, what happened? There was nothing for her to even be upset about, because it's just like, girl, you are
No,
going
if
on a
somebody's
tirade.
saying-
Because she reacted so violently,
Yeah.
aggressively, do you think that she has some doubt about her husband? Because if you know that rumor is not true, you would be like, girl, bye. That ain't
No,
even true.
because we
You
all
would be
know,
that mad.
no. Because even when when you know something's not true, just because somebody is saying it, it can be upsetting, and
To
you're going
react
to
that
react.
way?
You trying to now
What?
people get into volatile situations where they start arguing, even if they know the other person's wrong, because they're trying to prove a fact. What's your name? Gizelle kept her calm because somebody needed to keep her calm. Can you imagine if that was on the Real House of Atlanta and Nene was there or Portia was there, and they were directing it? It would be two of them going at it with each other. But Gizelle just kept silent and just kept leaning back, sipping on her little drink that looked so good. Some of it. And I was just like, wow. I think that in the end, sooner or later, she's going to come back and apologize to Gizelle. Or we're going to find out her husband is doing something, which I don't think.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but I don't think that she might apologize to Gizelle.
I think she's going to, because
anytime soon.
When she watches it, she's going to be like, oh my God.
I had read, or I had.
I'm going to step aside for one moment.
This isn't the first time that they had beef, like her and Gizelle. There was an incident at the spa where her and Gizelle got into it. I can't remember why, but they didn't show it on the show.
Oh, okay.
But they talked about it. So something's been brewing between the two of them, and I think that this probably just set them off.
So one thing my friend and I talked about is at the reunion, after Wendy has seen what actually happened, and saw what people were actually saying about the rumor, do you think at that point she will acknowledge that she overreacted and apologize?
Yeah, I said she's going to apologize.
I don't think so. I don't think she's going to be mad. I think she's going to be mad that Gizelle even brought it up. So I think that
everybody knew about it, and for Wendy to think that nobody knew about it.
No one, like Karen said, everyone knew, but no one said anything.
And
Giselle kind of brought
Gizelle is not special.
Onto the show.
Wendy is not special. If it would have happened to anybody else's man, they would have all been talking about. You're not special, honey, just because you're Wendy, Professor Wendy.
I
would never go to a class again because you look like a hoochie mama. No.
Gizelle didn't bring it to the show to gossip about. Gizelle was just saying maybe this is the reason why Wendy is doing this. Mm-hmm. If Wendy was wearing whatever Wendy was wearing before, or if Wendy wasn't out here, wearing the, deep
hoochie mama outfit,
bodysuit.
It's not a hoochie mama outfit.
It's a hoochie mama outfit.
It's not. No,
it was cute. I thought it was a cute outfit.
Hoochie mama outfits are cute. I've seen a lot of hoochie mama outfits that are cute.
That's not a hoochie mama outfit.
To my definition of a hoochie mama outfit.
Well,
I think that, I think no matter what, Gizelle would have brought it up, no matter how Wendy was behaving. Gizelle would have brought it up. She brought it up in the right way because everybody is fair game. Only kids are not fair game in the show. But everybody's fair game. Your relationships are fair game. And
she may have brought it up, but the way or the context under which she brought it up, if Wendy had been acting herself, she wouldn't have had a reason to bring it up, you know?
And so I think that the thing that is most bothersome to them is not that Wendy is dressing provocative, because almost all the Atlanta women dress provocative, and that's just normal because they've always dressed provocative. That's always been who they are, and they look great. But I think it's because there was such a difference in Wendy last year to this season that's what they're having an issue.
Of course,
not necessarily how she's dressing, but just the huge difference. If Wendy had always bared her breasts before, no one would be talking about it now. So I think that's what Wendy needs to realize and accept and be like, yeah, I see where you're going, where you're coming from, but this is me now, or this is who I want to be now. So.
And why do you want to be that way?
Because she
Is
likes
it
it.
to
Like, I
sell
don't think
your
there's anything
home
wrong with dressing
care
provocative,
line?
but just dress your age. Like, you know.
People, I don't even think it's dress your age. I think if we would have met Wendy, you guys, seriously, if we would have met her like that from the very beginning, we probably would think nothing of it.
No, I mean now that you have breasts, you want to show your body, just dress your age. Don't dress something that's so young, I mean, that's my issue. And that bustier, that Versace bustier, that was
too tight. You couldn't even breathe.
And
your breasts were gonna pop.
barely covering her nipples. That was just too much.
But you know what? A lot of the housewives of Atlanta, if you see them during their green room scenes and so forth, all of their breasts are always super shiny and about ready to pop out of everything. Karen would try, but she did try with the white outfit, but it just looked kind of bad.
Well, that's because she got her implants removed. So those are her.
I care what she did. It still looks gross.
So that's why it wasn't like popping like most of.
Well, then don't wear that type of outfit. Wear something else. It was just gross. So
this was a good episode. I thought very juicy, a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We forgot to talk about Ashley and Candace, their scene together. I thought that Ashley took it to the wrong person.
What do you mean?
Candace took it to the wrong person. Candace when Ashley went to the kitchen to get her milk and stuff, but she was gone. She's like, I'm done. This is just too much. It's gone left. This is what she came here for. So then, Candace comes back and says, take your milk and leave. Why did you bring it up? And Ashley tried to defend what she was doing and why she said it, but Candace didn't want to hear it. If I was Candace, no, I can't even say that. If I was Candace, everybody knows when you take everybody on a trip, there's going to be BS that happens. So get ready to it. I know. And Candace should have been like, no, Ashley can't come. You can't come I would have been like, no, you can't come. Mm-hmm. Because that would have been drama in itself.
Right.
And it would have been drama that I didn't have to see you.
And to be honest, Ashley really didn't do anything wrong.
She didn't.
And then did you see Candace was crying?
No.
She was crying when she went to talk to Ashley. She was, wiping tears. And it's just like she just hates Ashley.
Yeah, because I mean,
wouldn't you hate Ashley? You would hate Ashley too.
She brought something to Ashley. She brought the, cheating allegations to Ashley. It wasn't from a blog, but she still brought it to her on a group trip with Gizelle. And so,
but she did bring it to her one-on-one, not in front of a whole bunch. And that's what Ashley did.
That's what Ashley did
one-on-one with Wendy.
I know that, but it probably wasn't seen that way because for Candace, it was the hatred of Ashley. So no matter what Ashley does, it's going to be wrong. Mm-hmm. She should not have let her come on that trip. That's what I would have been. I'd be like, no, she can't come. I'm sorry you invited her.
I mean, it went fine up until that point. Like there was no interaction between them. It was fine until then.
But it takes a lot to deal with somebody that you don't like. To sit there in a room with somebody that went to court and supported somebody else and didn't support. No, I couldn't have done it. No.
Well, she was trying to be the bigger person. So I said,
no, she just didn't want to. No, she just didn't want to
toss well, she was trying to be a bigger person. That's why she did that. And I think it's good for her. Because she's always one touting to. Now she's saying, can't we all just get along? Mm-hmm. So how can she say that and then not allow Ashley to come? It's hypocritical.
Well, if she truly felt that way, then her and Ashley should sit down and do a one-on-one where they sit down and talk things out. Not that it's going to solve anything, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so we have Wednesday, Married at First Sight, and I don't recall any previews for next week for...
Married at First Sight.
No, Real Housewives. Were there any juicy previews?
Oh, they're just Ashley on that trip. So it looks like they went to Karen's thing, and did they come back?
Yeah, they went to Karen's, getting the key to being an ambassador. That was the dumbest thing ever. It's a waste of 15 minutes of our lives that we have to watch. I'll probably turn it off at that moment.
I hope it's 5 minutes, just 5 minutes.
I'll go and get ready.
It should be less than 5 minutes. It should be like 30 seconds. But auditioning for Candace's video.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's to be a dancer.
you know she don't want them on.
Yeah,
but
it's just
but
something fun
wants them
to
because
do.
they'll bring viewers, you know. Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you.
I think it'll be fun to see.
Yeah,
them
that
on
would be
video.
Oh, it'll be fun
Yeah.
to see, but you will never be on one of my videos doing no. No. And then you saw Karen.
Oh,
Disgusting.
yeah, when she was
I think
twerking, you didn't see Karen
Yes,
twerking.
she was trying to twerk.
Yes.
She was
I
trying
was
to.
like, why? Why?
Can you imagine if Mom started to twerk? Mom has a great butt, so if she were to twerk, it would be good. But can you imagine Mom trying to do that?
No, don't even want to try. No.
So, yeah.
Well, then, this is the end, ladies.
Yes, it is. So don't forget to comment below. Let us know your thoughts on Wendy's tirade and who was at fault and if Wendy had any valid reason to be upset.
Yes. And if you agree with us with how we think Wendy has changed or not changed, we love and value you guys' opinions. It makes it interesting for us to see how you react to our review. So please comment.
And like our channel and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see our new videos as soon as they're posted.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Real on The Real.
All right, ladies, until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.